Hey, hey, hey. We're back. We're black. We're brown. Ambition.
Me a little sharp today, Tiff.
Girl, well, you know, I've got bronchitis, so.
You got the itis.
Mm-hmm. But it's the bronch of the itis, yeah.
the ninth grader in me who was in the marching band is like, it's a little sharp, you know.
But I'm on the mend. I took some antibiotics.
Good.
Week.
Ooh, bronchitis is the worst.
Yes, I realized what it was. It was like likely a cold that I did not take care of, and I just felt so exhausted, and I didn't rest. And so it just, you know, this happened same time last year it happened. I was like, Tiffany, we've been through this.
And you're also on a book launch. Don't you always get sick when there's like a really... Yes. I just feel like it's our body's way of being like, and now I have to make you sit down.
Yes.
So I'm cool with it. The body can only communicate through symptoms. You know.
Yes. But I feel like, you know, I feel pretty good considering.
When does Made Whole hit the shelves?
It hits the shelves November 21st.
Oh, so close.
Yeah. So we'll do like a show like that day. We'll do like a Made Whole show, like whatever that Wednesday is of the week that it comes out.
Let me ask the boss. Tiffany, can we do a show about your book? I'm good with it. Oh, it's the best.
So like Imani, like just let's make sure we don't book anybody for that day. Whatever the 20, I think it's the 22nd. Like, you know, so let's not book anybody. Yeah.
Save that for Tiffany.
So we might as well just jump on into it.
Don't ask me.
We're going to jump on into it. Okay. Well, one, let's start with, I know you went to you know, lay to rest your Uncle Mark.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. And it's over now. Thank the Lord. And it was as sad as can be expected, but good positive things. My baby is a dream travel buddy, and he's just like the emotional support dog that I
saw the pictures. He looked so cute. Everybody was holding him. I was like, oh.
When I tell you, I didn't have to worry about childcare for like 6 hours. I just put Remy in the stroller and I was like, he over there. Someone's got him. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see my family, but you know, second time in 1 month, and I've got some great love from the BA fam after last week's episode. But yeah, we doing what we can do. And I came back to New York. By the way, LaGuardia, I love LaGuardia now.
Really?
It's just beautiful. Yeah.
Did they renovate or something?
They've renovated. I remember when I moved here 13 years ago, they started renovating it. It finally got done. I don't know when, but it's just been delightful to travel through there. And let me tell you, if you want a cheat code for airports, get you a kid, get you a baby in a stroller and go by yourself. Because the way I am just ushered through to all the shortest lines, and I don't even need like diamond medallion status. I get to board first anyway.
That's true.
And get comfy. And shout out to the random strangers. I'm at that level now of comfort where I'm just like, people will ask if you need help, but you know how you do it automatically? You don't expect the person to be like, yeah. And I'm like, here's the baby. Because it's hard to buckle my seatbelt with a baby in my arms. Aww. Very hard. So, yeah.
And everyone wants to hold a little baby. I'm like, oh, yes, I'll hold your baby while you buckle your seatbelt.
Especially Remy. He's just a dream, you know? He's just so smiley. But yeah, I was really, really happy to get back. And I was like, let me get back. And I thought what was going to be a delightful double date planned.
Yeah, well, I brought Tracy as my date, but yes.
That's fine. I was just really excited. I was going to get to see you and we were going to do something cool.
And I had your Webby Awards with me.
Did you really? You hauled that heavy Webby from Newark to Brooklyn?
Yeah, so because they sent me the 2 boxes, and so I was like, oh, okay, and then let's dial it on back. So Mandi and I were supposed to go to the Brooklyn Museum because what's Kimberly's last name?
Kimberly Grant, I believe. And
yes, Kimberly Grant
with an I, so I instantly love her.
And so Kimberly Grant, who's a listener, hey Kimberly, she reached out to me and Mandi, was like, oh my goodness, I am a curator at the Brooklyn Museum.
She's
one of
the
3
curator.
Yes,
for
modern,
cool
I believe.
Job.
Yes, there's 3 Black female curators at the Brooklyn Museum, which she said is like unheard of.
Oh wow!
Yes,
okay.
And so she hit us up. It was like, I love the podcast. I love what you guys are doing. I would love to give you guys a private tour of the new Spike Lee exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum that she curated along with her team and Spike Lee. And I was like, fancy, behind the scenes, special treatment? Yes, we would. Love that. So Mandi and I plan to go on Sunday and meet up. Like, Mandi, you brought husband? Is that who you initially bought?
Oh, he came with me for the ride. Did we arrive at the museum? Did we get to partake in the private tour? No, but our marriage survived yesterday.
So what happened was, so the night before, a friend of mine was like, because I was gonna have like dinner with a friend after, and my sister came with me, and they were like, hey, just so you know, it's Marathon Sunday. And I was like, what's that? They're like, that means there's the New York City Marathon. And so just be mindful, because I was going to Uber in. And they were like, don't Uber in, just take the train. And I said, at first, so I got nervous. And so I texted Mandi and Kimberly the night before. I was like, hey, it's Marathon Sunday. Should we reschedule? Because I heard it's kind of crazy. And it was just kind of like, no, just take the train. You should be fine. So I told Tracy, let's leave extra early and we will hit up the Brooklyn Library to go see the Jay-Z exhibit. I'd seen it, but Tracy had not. That way we're there an hour early. That way it gives us plenty of buffer. And then we'll walk down, because the museum and the library are a 5-minute walk from each other. So we did that. We got up, we took the train. It was actually super smooth. Took the path to the World Trade Center, took the two to Grand Army Plaza. We got there 10 minutes before the library opened, walked around for an hour, enjoyed over Jay-Z's genius and brilliance, and then walked to the museum. And I was like, Mandi was right.
That is the meanest thing you've ever said to me. The way that you described how easy it was for you to get from point A to B yesterday. Why would you be so cruel?
And then, so meanwhile, I was the nervous Nelly. I was a nervous Nelly, like, I don't know. Mandi was like, don't you worry about it. I love Marathon Sunday. So then,
I was optimistic. I was excited. I was so excited. Because Mandi, you know what?
How did it go for you? Sorry.
I'm so mad at you for starting, because the way that is the opposite of how my day went.
I know.
I mean, after all this darkness and like bullshit, I feel like I've barely seen my husband, and we all know my attachment style now. I need physical. I'm like, just sit next to me so our thighs touch and I can feel that physical connection. So I was really excited to have a reason to drop the kids off with the abuelos. And then I was like, it's perfect. We can drive down. Then we'll take the train. It'll be easy. And we too left hella early, because I got 2 kids and I wasn't about to be late. And I think we got on the train at 12:30 p.m. And which was, to get to Brooklyn, it was going to take us like maybe 45 minutes. And I was like, we can grab some food. We can see, I haven't been to Prospect Park in a minute. Maybe we'll spectate. I love the marathon because it's just so joyful. I don't want to run it, but I like to cheer people on. And like, I don't know, Tiff, the gods were they were on your side, because we both were on the same express train. But you were there maybe like 20 minutes before me, and you just missed someone hitting delete on their life via the subway, because someone jumped on the tracks.
They did. I didn't know they jumped. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So our train stopped, and it was like, this is the last stop due to an injured passenger. And then, of course, we got on X or Twitter, whatever it's called. Still good for, finding out what the heck's happening on the train. And it was so bad. We were in Lower Manhattan, and from there it was just catastrophe. We got off. I was so hungry. We grabbed a taco for like 5 minutes, and so I could get my mind straight. And then it was like, there's really no train that can get us across this river to Brooklyn. So what did we do? We called Lyft. Well, we tried to Lyft, and it was like, it took 15 minutes for the driver to get there, inexplicably, because there wasn't much like traffic in downtown Manhattan. Anyway, Lyft driver gets here, and he seems like sus. I'm not gonna lie. When the car smells a little funky, and he like didn't really understand what we were trying to tell him on like which corner we were gonna meet him on. But anyway, we get in the car and just like, get me to Brooklyn. At this point, I'm gonna be late anyway. And we start driving and we do get across the bridge. And then as soon as we do, he starts like, he's not following the map. He's trying to find his way around all these, like, because there's all this like road closures because of the marathon. We get trapped on this dead end where there's a barricade and there's like 5 cars behind us and they are getting out and yelling at each other, get out of the way, get out of the way. Our driver's like, there's a barricade, we can't move. Everyone's stuck. And then, you know, like when you're stuck on a one way, our Lyft driver was trying to like fast, like Vin Diesel his way out, like, you know, a little bit forward, a little bit back, turn around, you know, try to like squeeze himself out. It wasn't happening. And my anxiety, I am not proud. I just was like, get me the fuck out of this car. I'm getting out of this car. I'm getting out of this car. And my husband was like, okay. So we got out of the car and then couldn't get another lift. So we're like, at this point, we're maybe a 30-minute walk from the museum. Okay. And it sounds so silly, but at that point, we start walking and found out that husband, man, bless his heart. But to be a New Yorker, he has the worst sense of direction. And I was like, Jesus, take the wheel. Someone else plan. Like, someone else get me to the museum. So I was like, babe, you handle the walking instructions. He went the wrong direction. And then all of a sudden, a 30-minute walk was a 40-minute walk, Tiffany. And that was the point when I tell you, if you were outside the Whole Foods in Gowanus yesterday and you saw a woman with her head banging against the fence, that was me. And a very concerned man who had no idea what to do to comfort her. That's my husband. And I was like updating y'all along the way, like, oh, this obstacle, you know, but we're on the way and this obstacle.
Yes. I was like, okay, yeah. I was reading those texts.
And it was like, my husband's looking at me. He's like, it's 3:45. We got to pick up the kids by 5 because Abuela has bingo night. And we promised her she could go to bingo. And I was like, let's just go home. Let's just go home. But the night ended fine because once I had my kids, I was just, when I'm like anxious like that and I'm kind of spiraling, I hate being away from home and my kids. It's just like, get them near me. I need to like see them. So once they were in the car and we were on the way home, I finally like could mellow out. And I said, you know what? Let's turn this day around. So we went to the grocery store and I got what I like to do I don't know if this is like something that helps you. You don't cook very much. You don't like cooking, right? But for me, when I'm really struggling with anxiety, cooking so calms me down. So I made some banging food last night. I made chicken piccata and I made this like apple kale salad that I have been fantasizing about eating, but I couldn't find anywhere. I finally made it my damn self. And we had mashed potatoes, and I got a brand new potato ricer. The way I'm excited about a kitchen utensil, but a potato ricer, because you put your boiled potato in it and it makes it so much like creamier than like mashing it with a masher. And I had a big old glass of wine and all is well, but that was a hellacious, and I'm sorry if I caused any secondhand anxiety for those listening. But yeah, it wasn't my day yesterday. It just wasn't.
And you know, and here's, I'll say this, that, well, one, I'm not going to lie, the way home was a nightmare because they now close the Holland Tunnel at a certain time. And so they like, don't tell anybody. They're like, oh yeah, it's closed. And so we all had to take the Lincoln. So I was stuck in New York for like an hour just sitting in Uber, like, am I ever going to get home? So if it makes you feel any better, yeah. But I was just like,
no, I don't want you to suffer. But I should have listened to you when you said, maybe we should reschedule.
No, it ended up working because Kimberly, because that was really the last weekend. Because, you know, now I'm on book promo, so I wouldn't have gotten a chance. And she was so awesome. And like the exhibit, please go see it, the Spike Lee exhibit. And she's just like so smart. She has her bachelor's, her master's, and her doctorate.
I wanted to meet her.
Yeah. Like, she says she's gonna definitely, she's like, she wants to take you and husband or whoever on the tour. She was like, no, I'm gonna do it again for Mandi. It was just so amazing to kind of go behind the scenes and to like hear about the pieces and why they were chosen and what she was thinking. And it just was like an amazing exhibit. So just for clarity, the Jay-Z exhibit at the library is really like the history of Jay-Z and his life. Like, you know, all things Jay-Z, his life. Spike Lee's exhibit at the museum is Spike Lee's actual artwork and collection. So it's not really about Spike Lee's life directly. It's like he is an avid collector of movie posters, of art, of photography, all things creative and art, of film, And so it's a fraction of his immense collection, which a large part of it is, Black artists, and so it was just really, she split it into 7 categories. It was like Brooklyn, sports, activism or something like that, like family. It was just, Spike, I did not know, comes from a very, very, very artistic family. His sister's an actress. His brother's a photographer. His grandfather was a jazz musician. His mother was an art teacher. It was just, so it was just this amazing, this amazing collection from this man who clearly has a huge love of all things creative and art and Blackness. And so, to hear from her, like, why they chose certain things and not other things, and what those things meant, and how each of the 7 components was anchored. She chose like a clip from one of Spike's movies to anchor that component. Like Crooklyn was like for the family component, and all pictures of like his family were all in there. So it was really awesome. And so I can't wait for you to see it. If you haven't, please go see it. It's just an amazing exhibit. Each of the 7 rooms is separated by what looks like, which I thought was really brilliant, because he's a film director, and so it looks like a film shoot, like the wooden, like yes, and so it was just really, it just
dope.
Yeah, it really was, honestly. And she just, like I said, was super kind and nice and smart, and it's just, I also, because my niece Amelia is really into art, and I just was asking her questions like, how did you get into this, like space, like what does it look like? So at one point she worked at Newark Museum. She worked in Chicago. I think she's from Chicago originally. And she was just kind of sharing kind of like her history and like the school that she, like how she got her master's and her doctorate, and like what you can kind of do with it. Cause I think people think of these like, liberal arts, degrees and you can't do anything. Yes. Yeah. But here she is being this dope, brown woman curating. And she was telling me like, I said, well, what's next? Cause I could tell. She said, this was almost 2 years in the making to do this amazing. Oh, wow. Yes. And she said the next thing, I think I want to say in February or March of next year, is that she's doing the Dean. So she's doing Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz. They have an immense.
Yes,
she said
Alicia Keys' house. What was I watching when I saw some of the art she has?
Architecture, yes. So she said she actually went to their home to kind of view some of their art to help them decide and pick. So she's curating that. I just thought that was amazing. I mean, she just, Kimberly, you just honestly just made my heart sing. And just like a good person, good energy. So I can't wait for you to meet her and for her to, take you around. And then she's inviting us back when the Dean collection is.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Shout out to the arts in general, man. Because you know what? I'm going to make it happen because I still need just a day to like look at something with some levity and because there's so much darkness, but you forget about these public spaces that are available to anyone, and museums. I haven't been to the Brooklyn Museum in years. And I remember for me, there's this hall at the Brooklyn Museum where they have all these statues of Black women. I don't know what exhibit it is, but I'll never forget looking at those statues and being like, that's my body. Those are my little rolls, my fupa, my thighs, felt so seen even before like Fenty and Yiddy were using models with regular bodies. Anyway, that's so amazing. I can't wait to have, and I'm glad. You know how it's really difficult when we've talked about it recently, but it's really difficult to say that's enough. I'm going to try again another time. And yesterday when I had to, it felt like quitting, giving up or whatever, but I wasn't at that point in the right headspace to even enjoy it. I knew, you know what I mean? And I'm really glad because now I've got a chance, and thank you to Kimberly for giving me a second chance. I can have a chance to come back in a better headspace. But yeah, girl, it was not the day for me.
Yeah. And like I said, it was okay. And we talked also too about just like for those of you interested in purchasing art, because we talked about that because, art is an investment.
Oh, okay.
So we talked about that. I was like, how would somebody who wants to invest in art? And she said, obviously when artists are already being shown, it could be tens of thousands of dollars, which she's like, it's way out of her price range. So she said, one of the ways to if you are interested in investing in art is to look into prints, of your favorite artists. She said, well, one, start to go to different galleries and museums to get an idea of what you enjoy and what you like. It's very subjective. And then when you find maybe, a type of art that you enjoy and like, you can start to do a little bit more research on, are there any other artists that kind of follow in that genre? and then look to see if they have prints available. So that allows you to have a piece of the art in a way that is cost effective for many people. And then also too, she said there are literally art schools where artists will, young artists that are up and coming will have showings, well, they'll do like, an open studio like tour. And so you can invest in a young artist for maybe a few $100 or whatever that 10 years from now, you're like, I can't even purchase anything, from them. So consider if you're really into art, like now that I'm decorating my condo, I'm really interested, because that's why I was asking her, like, well, how do I purchase art in a way that's cost effective? Because I really want to fill my condo with largely Black and brown artists, especially artists, women, and she was like, look into these open studios and purchase from students, people whose art you just think is delightful and beautiful. And it may turn into something one day, meaning they're this huge artist. And if not, you have a piece you love either way, directly from the artists themselves, And so I just thought that was a great way to dip your baby toe into purchasing art.
Oh, we should have Kimberly on and do a whole show on Black art. I could just see it. I could see it. What else is going on in the world? So if you notice behind me, the Zen Den is not so zenny right now. If you guys are watching on YouTube, this is November and it's a double. This is like I mentioned, this is the time of year when it's like, okay, let's get it together, because Rio's birthday is coming up, and so is Thanksgiving, and my dad's going to be in town. But for Rio's birthday, my husband and I are trying to be like, we want to give him his own day. We don't want it to feel like a Turkey Day extension, because it is like the day after Thanksgiving, or a couple days after Thanksgiving. But also, I have a hate so deep for toys. I know that I had toys as a kid. Obviously I did. I loved Barbie dolls. I loved Power Rangers. I love video games and Game Boy like every other kid. Gigapets, I had them all. But the I don't like what it does to my kid. Like he is so toy obsessed that he wants to talk of nothing else. We can't even, sometimes we can't even go to a store like CVS. Whoever decided to put model cars at the entrance of every CVS, like, you're the reason I can't patronize your store with my child anymore. Because the number of times we've had to like drag him out kicking and screaming. Oh my goodness. And last year, maybe it's because he's a pandemic baby, I don't know. But last year we did the whole birthday, like the bounce house and the toys in the morning. And my husband, I think to heal his inner child, was like, let's have all these trucks laid out on the kitchen table so we can come downstairs and be like, whoa. Overstimulation is what happens. So anyway, long story short, I decided for this birthday, my gift to him is going to be his own space in my basement. I've been thinking about it and designing in my head, and I have the perfect plan for his little play area, because he doesn't have we don't have a family room, because I didn't have a family when I bought this house. I wasn't thinking, but anyway, I'm going to trick it out. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to take all of his favorite toys. I'm going to purge a bunch of stuff he doesn't need anymore. And I'm going to show him that he has amazing toys. And I'm going to have a little art center and a little kitchen. I'm going to set it up kind of like, preschool style, like with little zones and a little library reading area, so that he and Remy can play down here. And that's going to be his birthday experience. So this is me just starting it, and Husband has no idea. I threw out a lot of his stuff today, but he doesn't need it. And he's these old drop claws and like nicks and knickknacks and pieces of who knows what even half this stuff goes to. So that's my project for the month.
Okay, my project for the month is just making it through this launch.
You're gonna just do it, girl.
Making it through the launch, actually, if you are listening, which you are, I forgot to say, so on, there's probably a few copies left. So I signed about 5,000 copies of the book. Yes.
With your own hand?
Well, you don't. So the way you sign book, you don't, because it's impossible to handle that many books. They have you sign those book plates. Have you ever seen it? They look like stickers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So some books you actually sign themselves, but when it's that many, because they wanted me to sign thousands, you can't possibly, because they can't mail you 5,000. So they send you book plates. So I signed, 5,000 of those that you stick inside. Then the team will stick them inside the books, you know? So these are signed copies of the book. And I mailed them 5,000 of my Budgetista bracelets. Mm-hmm. So you should have gotten an email. I'm trying to think like where you'll be able to get it. No, you know what? If you go to madewholeworkbook.com, if there are any of those, like, you know, you want to pre-order the book now. Last time I checked, we had already sold half of them already. So over 2,500 copies have already been sold. So I don't know by the time this comes out. Hopefully there's a few hundred copies left. If you want a signed copy of the book and it comes with a bracelet for free, same price as like the regular book. Madewholeworkbook.com. Get your signed copy, get your Budgetista bracelet. So yeah. I just want to make sure, because I was like, wait, did I tell them? I'm like, no. So hopefully when you go, you're not like, Tiffany's already sold out. I'm like, my bad. So it should be. I'm sure there'll still be a few hundred copies left by the time this comes out.
Maybe we do a couple. You can do. I'm like, it's on my book too. You can do a couple for the BA fam.
Yeah. So like it should be. Yeah. Like, but just hurry up and go. madewholeworkbook.com. But yeah, do you want to take a break so we come back for Brown Break, Brown Boost?
That sounds good. See y'all in a bit.
And we're back, and we're black, and we're brown, and the green grass grew all around, and around, and the green grass grew all around. Some of y'all don't remember that song. We're back. No, and they're like, it's like a preschool song.
So all I got in my head is chicka chicka boom boom. When I tell you that earworm don't want to get out,
I love that book. Chicka chicka boom boom. Will there be enough room?
Boom. Yeah, it's great. But I heard I've been listening to books on tape with Rio in the car. Aww. And can we get some updated narrators? Because the guy, it just sounds like they were made in like the 50s. Dr. Seuss. Anyway, chicka chicka boom boom. Yeah. Brown break.
Yes. Do you want to go first? Because I can't think of anything just yet, so you can go first.
Oh, I'm going to do a boost because, you know, one of the bright spots of this weekend, other than getting to squeeze my brother and squeeze my dad, was I just happened to be watching CNN on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday morning around 7 a.m. There's a brand new show, and it's called First of All, which tells you what you need to know. Is hosted by a black man. First of all. It's called First of All, and it's hosted by Victor Blackwell, and I was not familiar with him. He's a CNN anchor, and I kind of like read his bio. He's, you know, worked at a bunch of different stations in Florida, but now he's at CNN in Atlanta, and he has his own news show, weekend show on Saturday mornings, First of All. And what I love about it, other than the fact that he is a beautiful black man with like the perfect bald head, like no shine at all. The makeup team was on it, and it was his premiere day, so it felt special. And it was fun. He had an expert on to talk about the new Beyonce fragrance, and he even like whipped out his like space boots that he wore to the Renaissance tour, because he's like, I don't have a lifestyle where I'm going to wear these again. So if I talk about Beyonce, I'm going to bring these shoes to work. And then we talked about black art earlier. He featured this black artist who I immediately went and found on Instagram and does some really amazing art, sort of putting like, he's a painter and he focuses on trauma, but, you know, painting in a way that sort of like is liberating from trauma. And I just thought it was a dope show, and it put a smile on my face. And so shout out to First of All on CNN and to Victor Blackwell, who I don't know, but I liked it. And maybe I'll watch the news more often now.
Oh, we love that. I think I saw you had posted a clip of it. So
I posted a little bit. Don Lemon, who needs him? You know what I mean? I mean, I wish him well, but it was, you know, we can have more. There can be more than one. Do you know what I mean? And I wish him all the best, and I hope that his show is very successful.
Okay. Well, we wish you the best too, brother. I will do a boost as well. So I have been trying for the last 20 years to do the full, like, I don't want to say trifecta because it's more than 3 things. Like, so when it comes to health, right, there are a number of things you're supposed to do to have optimum health. So one of those things is like drink water. Like over index on drinking water versus like sugary drinks, whatever. That was like the first shift I made. I want to say 10 years ago. I was like, girl, you and this ginger ale, it has a chokehold. Stop it. So like drink water. I was like, okay. 2, you want to have a reasonably healthy diet, like low on processed foods. And so like I I've been at that space for a while. Like I don't a healthy diet for you. So for me, red meat doesn't sit well with me. Neither does chicken. But for you, like my sister Karen, she needs red meat because low iron. But for me, the reasonably healthy diet, I eat a lot of veggies, very low on processed foods. I get my protein in, and so these are things like I'm like, all right, finally, Tiffany, you're pretty good in that space. Then it was cardio. So 2 years ago, y'all know I started walking. And I walk almost every day, typically for about an hour or so. I'm like, all right, got my cardio in. For some of y'all might be running, rollerblading, whatever that is. And so the last component has been eluding me for the longest, which is strength training. Like, cause if you get your diet together, make sure you have your protein, your veggies, your healthy eats, you drink your water, sleep. Oh, too, that's right. The fifth one is sleep. I definitely, like, my sleep has improved significantly. My cardio is here, but I could not get back into, I just didn't, I used to go to the gym all the time and I used to love lifting weights and stuff like that, but I didn't want, I was like, so for the longest, I was like, this is the one part that's eluding me. And I found that I was yo-yoing in weight. And I know a large part is because I wasn't strength training. Because with no real muscle, you don't have anything to stabilize you, So it's like, if I ate great that week, stable. If I didn't, I'm up 5 pounds. I'm like, damn, just 1 week, and I knew it was because, like I said, I wasn't strength training and I really didn't have any strength, despite my arms looking like they're cut. It's deceitful. This is just good genes. But I recently started doing calisthenics and I've been really enjoying it. And
calisthenics is like you use your body weight?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not like lifting weights? Okay.
Yes.
Is that like is it a class or is it just a genre of...
A genre, I guess, I would say. So I was trying to figure out, because a friend of mine does calisthenics and he was like, he's been trying to get me to do it. I was like, I don't want.
That's like planking and chin-ups and...
Yeah. So there are 5 core moves. There's push-ups, which I do very modified, meaning like in the beginning, it really was just me pushing against the wall because, girl, who had the arm strength? Not me. I couldn't even do like the ones where on your knees. I'm like, mm-mm. So it was like a pushing against the wall and then like against the kitchen table. So it's like you try to get as close to the ground as possible. But right now I'm on table level. That's how much my arms can do, Okay. So push-ups, then pull-ups. So pull-ups, like, like those are especially really hard, especially for a lot of women because we don't have as much arm strength as men tend to. So I do a super modified version. Yes. Where it's like, I hold on, like I have like a bar thing in my basement and I hold on to it and I just pull myself toward it. So I'm slowly building the muscle that I'm going to need to eventually be able. So it might take a year before I can do one pull-up, if even that, but pull-ups is one. Another one is squats, which I have down pat. Like, women got them strong legs. Yeah. So the squats are easy. The other one is dips, which when I tell you, I didn't realize how weak my chicken. So dips are like, pretend like, think about like the double handlebar, like the 2 bars, like on the left side, right? And then you basically lift yourself up and down. And it looks so easy.
But you don't use a bar because it's calisthenics? Because I know dips with like the bar.
Yeah, so I don't. So you can actually do a dip. Literally, like I have a bench, You can literally just sit in a chair and just like put your hands on the side, and then you kind of sit at the edge of the chair, and then you dip. Mandy is dipping. Sorry. But the dips were so hard because I have no muscle strength back here, so I could do like half a one. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so weak. But dips is one. So it's 5. It's dips. Oh, and the last one is something called the L-sit, which is basically core strength
against the wall.
Yeah, but I ain't doing all that. So the what I'm learning is to build a muscle up to be able to do the thing. So for that, I'm doing leg lifts because it's just core muscle strength. So right now, so those are the 5. In the beginning, when I could tell you the first week, I could barely do 1 of each. But it wasn't about that. I was like, Tiffany, just wake up. They call it around the world when you do all 5. Just wake up and just do 1 of each if that's what it looks like. And then I was like, oh, I could do 5 of each. And now I'm up to 8. Well, the squats are easy. But I'm up to 8 of even the hardest one. And I'm like, okay. So I think this week I'm going to see if I could do 2 sets of 8 when it comes to the hardest one. And I feel really good. I'm like, because you can see yourself getting stronger. And I am trying to create a lifestyle for myself where I don't need things in order to be healthy. Meaning I want to be able to do this type of exercise, whether I'm in a hotel room, whether I'm home. You know what I mean? Because I find myself falling off if I don't have access to the gym or my dumbbells, or you know? So like walking, I can do wherever. Calisthenics, for the most part, I can do wherever. And so it was just, I just wanted to do that as like a boost to be like, okay, I'm like, you're sleeping, you're drinking your water, you're eating better, you're walking, and now you are strength training. Tiffany, yes! I feel like I
just want you to, oh no, go ahead.
No, I don't know. I just feel like good about like a holistically healthy lifestyle is what I want for myself. One where I feel good on a regular basis and it doesn't feel like this forced thing, because I love to walk and I'm actually enjoying calisthenics and I like to drink water, and the food that I'm eating, even though it's healthy, I like the way it tastes, because I don't like, I'm choosing a healthy lifestyle, not from a place of, I guess, girl, like all the choices I'm making are made in a space where I'm like, I'm enjoying those choices. And I didn't think that was possible. I thought like healthy lifestyle meant deprivation and martyrdom. And I'm not feeling that like that at all. All the 5 ways that I'm achieving this healthy lifestyle feels good to me. So I'm just excited about like navigating into that space.
Good. That's funny that you mentioned that, because, and I was going to ask, so the calisthenics, are you just coaching yourself, or do you like follow a program or
YouTube University? So there's like, I forget the girl. There's a young woman on YouTube. I forget her name. And she does like, what I love is that she did super beginner. So you can kind of see like, oh, you can't do a push-up. Can you push against a chair? That's too low. Can you do a table? That's too low. Can you do against the wall? So she does like, you know, I love that. So it's like, no matter what kind of like modality you have, she's like, here are the exercises sometimes to even just build the muscle to be even able to attempt the thing. So yeah, that's what I'm just doing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny that you mention it, because in the last like 2 months, my mom friend, she's just my friend, really good friend named Jessica. She's a runner, and she, you know, she's also, anyway, she works downtown, and she'd be like, yeah, I mean, I ran the Brooklyn Bridge when I got to the office this morning. I'm like, you're special. I love that for you. But she and her husband have a sick gym at their house, and they're like 5 minutes from me. But anyway, I asked Jessica, because she's always kind of like going to like traveling for little races, and I said, I really want to build up to doing like a 5K or a 10K, because I enjoy running, and I just haven't run in a long time. And I asked her if she would train me, and I don't know much about her history, but I know she was a jock. You know, she used to like do sports in college and high school and all that kind of stuff. So we've been meeting up on Saturdays at her house. Yay. And it's so fun, because like she has a 4-year-old named Kari, and he just kind of like hangs out, and her dog Beanie just hangs out, and Kari's like blasting Paw Patrol on his iPad, and she's training me on the treadmill. But we've been doing strength, and the reason I asked if you had a coach is because I tried to tell Jessica, no, I cannot. And she's like, you better get those 15-pound weights. And I have been so like pleasantly surprised by my own strength. And it feels really good to be, you know, building that muscle. And it's like, you know, little progressions. Jessica's advice was, we pick one, like we use her, we both have Peloton. So we use, and she has the tread. So we use the Peloton strength workouts. And she's like, we're going to pick one, because analysis paralysis, too many to choose from. We're going to pick one, and we're going to pick one ab workout and one strength, and we're going to do one kind of like running plan, and we're going to do that strength one. So Andre, that's who I follow for the strength exercise. I've been doing that with him, and like it's cool because it's the same movements, and you're like, oh, this is a little easier. Okay.
Yes, doesn't that feel good? You're like,
it does feel.
I know. Yeah. So.
But I needed Jessica because otherwise I'd still be doing my 10-pound weights as my heavy weights. And she's like, no. 15 to 20 is your heavy, 10 is your light.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, Jessica, you say so.
I love just making like these small progress, you know, like I just feel like, you know, I love how we are holistically like, okay, there's a better life out there. It doesn't have to be like this push and pull. You can walk joyfully toward like a holistically healthier life and still love where you are right now. You know?
Yeah, I'm about that.
Yes.
I'm like, no judgment zone is where I'm at. I don't weigh myself. I don't think about, I have to really talk to myself when I get into any kind of thought where it's like, oh, I should be, or I didn't do this today, and so I'm such and such. It's like, it's really, yeah, exactly. I think it's about doing what makes you feel good and makes you feel happy. And I think we all have our own way of doing that.
Yeah. So
I'm
we hope
proud
you're
of
getting
you.
your health on too.
Yeah.
BA fam, like this is years in the making, child. It was 5 years ago I started with water. I'm just now getting here. So like whatever small little thing you can do, whether it's eating a little better, sleeping a little bit better, taking your walk or run or, do a little strength training, start to add those things on, Someone was
Have a
like,
plank party.
yes. I love that, doing that. Something with your neighbor, with your kids, something, because if you're going to be here on this rolling rock that we call Earth, ideally you want to be in as healthy as you can be so you can enjoy it as long as you can. So, okay, BA fam. We will see you on Friday for BAQA. Yeah,
See y'all
financial
then,
questions, business questions, career questions, just questions. You can ask them at brownambitionpodcast.com, brownambitionpodcast@gmail.com, Brown Ambition Podcast on IG, and the BA Podcast on Twitter, X, or whatever they call it these days. All right, y'all, until next week, or until Friday.